for women and men? Yes, because we both have sexual organs. I'm going to use the step one. Thank you all for having me. Thank you, Wendy, and everybody for being here. It's such an intimate, I feel like this is a gift from us to us, hey? And next time, we should get a lot more people here. Because more people need to know about this work. So, thank you again for having me. Oh, wow, thanks. Oh, that's awesome. I was expecting that. Thank you. Mark? Is that Mark?
Yeah, Mark, yeah.
All right, so, sexual reflexology. Okay, I bet you with all of you guys healers, some of you are reflexologists. So, who can tell me what reflexology is? Popcorn it out. It's not a trick question. Yeah, so it's literally, there are parts of our body where when you stimulate them, they will help balance internal organs and glands. And, second question, and last question for a while. Who knows what are meridians? Who can tell me what meridians are? Yeah, energy lines, energy pathways, energy channels that run through the body. So, just coming back to reflexology for a moment. So let's say you're a trained hand reflexologist. So then you can look at the hand and be like, oh, I can kind of tell that there's an imbalance there, and I can stimulate this area that will help balance your internal organs. Well, that's super cool. So let's go over the different parts of the body that have reflex zones. The feet we're most familiar with, the hands, the ears, face, and our sexual organs, which most of us don't even know, don't realize, because we've never been taught. So notice that they're all at like the endings of our body. Does that make sense? The end of our body. Because we all began this journey as a single cell. And as that cell multiplied, 2 cells, and we just kept multiplying, it all came from the one. That means, as it expanded, if you guys have ever watched those really cool videos on how a little baby's formed, right? It starts from like a blob, and then all of a sudden these little hands and feet start coming out of the one, right? It's so cool. And so therefore, your hands, your feet, your head, your sexual organs all carry like a blueprint, a map for this beautiful organ chakra system. The meridians are the ones that carry the energy around. So as we were growing in our little mama's womb, which by the way, everyone, I have something growing in here right now. It's probably this I've never made that a public announcement before, so. So the first circuit starts to run and starts to move energy inside of our body. But this talk's not about that. This talk is about the sexual reflexology. So, where do I want to go? So, okay, so now we know that these ends of our bodies now carry these reflex zones. We know that by stimulating those reflex zones, you balance your own internal organs. Now, what about this sexual reflexology? Well, the thing about the sexual organ is that you're not only working with this body part, like, so when you're getting a foot reflexology session, it's awesome, it's good for you in all ways. But when you're getting a sexual reflexology, healing love session, which is lovemaking, and with awareness, you're now tapping into this extra piece, this sexual energy, which is your eros, which is what we're all made of. the orgasmic energy that heals. So you're kind of getting this extra incredible bonus that you don't get with the other reflexology zones. And because sexual energy is derived from all of our body's energies, it is like literally condensation of the best energy that our body will give us. Why? Because just in case, in that lovemaking session, just in case you create a little person, that is going to need the best energy, right? It's going to require the best energy of your body. That's why orgasm is so healing, because you're using that sexual energy that you're tapping into, which is lying in your pelvis, and you're now starting to breathe it into your own body through those meridians, right? Those central channel, the microcosmic orbit, your governing channel, your conception, wherever your thrusting channels. You don't even have to know this. You just think, my heart, or my organs, or I'm gonna heal my teeth today. Whatever it is, right? You can heal your body. So before I get into the actual zones, I'm going to show you on my little hilarious drawings. I just wanted to tell you, I'm missing a page, how this has changed my life. How this information has changed my life. In two ways that is very clear to me. The first way it has changed my life is with my first child. I had 3 days, I was in labor for 3 days, and it ended up in a hospital cesarean. And my vagina was super tight afterwards. Like, I could not have penetration. There was nothing going in. And for months, it was sort of like this thing that I kept sweeping under the bed. I was like, I don't want to deal with this. And eventually I was like, okay, I got to deal with this. And because I had the knowledge of sexual reflexology, I was able to implement it and heal my own vagina myself. I didn't have to go to see anybody else because I had my own knowledge. So that's one way it has really impacted my life, and I'm going to show you that in a second. And the other way is that, I know it's easy to put sex on the bottom of the list, especially as a parent. And it's like, I don't feel like it. There's all these things that I want to get done, all these things in my mind, I'm too tired. But then when I think of it as like a healing session, like I would never say no to a massage. Someone's like, yeah, I'll give you a full body massage. I'm not too tired for that. So I think of sex literally as the most ecstatic acupressure available. And when I approach it like that, I'm much more willing to open up to the possibility. So that's how it has really changed my life. So now let's take a look at the actual zones. Don't laugh at my art, please. I made them really big because I wanted you all to see. So they were abnormally big, and that's not how they actually look. Let's start with the female. So let's start at the entrance of the vagina. I like to call the vagina Yoni. In my own terms, it's a Sanskrit word for vagina, and it means all of this that you see. Okay, so at the entrance of a woman's yoni is the kidney zone. The kidney is associated with fear. So that's why if any woman has had any trauma, sexual trauma, there's going to be a tightness right at the entrance. That's why she can't open up. So there's also sounds associated with each of these organs. If anyone here knows Chinese medicine, you already know this stuff. You know the sounds, you know the emotions, right, that are associated with that. So this is you can go much deeper. But I'm just going to be showing you the actual zones. Then as you go a little bit deeper, around the G-spot area is the liver zone. And as you go deeper, we're still, these are the digestive organ zones, this middle of the vagina. Spleen, pancreas, stomach. And then in the very deep vagina is the lung, and right at the cervix is the heart. It's very beautiful. And so when you think, as a woman opens up, and her kidneys get warmed up and activated, and and then deeper, it's warmed up and activated, and deeper up until if she can have all the way to her cervix penetrated, but in a very healing, loving way, right? It's not like, right? Like, it depends on what she wants. But you know, here's the thing, because it works both hand in hand with her own, like her actual heart, right? So the cervix and the heart is very connected. And so is she feeling vulnerable enough? Is she feeling safe enough? You know, can she have those difficult conversations that she might, like, something on my heart I need to say? And if she can, the cervix will open more as well, right? So it kind of works hand in hand. And so, let's move to the male. Oh, and then the clitoris, of course, is the pituitary gland and pineal gland. So the glands in the head. So for a man, the testicles are related to all of his endocrine glands. So really great to be massaged. The base is kidney, bladder, same as the woman's entrance, right? The liver is the next. Then we got the spleen, stomach, pancreas. And then the very tip on the edges is the lung. And then in the center is the heart. And at the very, very tip of the head of his penis is the pituitary and pineal gland. So when a man and a woman come together, and please don't see this as like, you know, heterosexual is the only way, because you can still stimulate a partner, like not using a penis and vagina. You can use different tools. For example, I use a jade egg a lot. So when they line up very beautifully. And you see that the kidneys, the liver, the spleen, pancreas, and the heart and lungs all line up together in a very beautiful way. So the additional piece to this is, so you can be using sounds. So you could literally have, hey, partner, let's have a healing session where we're using the actual sounds. So as the man enters, it's all about the woman on this one, sorry. Because when you're thinking, he's actually stimulating the head of his penis, but the woman, it's her entrance. So the kidney sound is, you can make the sound with me just for fun. It's like the wind, sound of wind. And then the liver sound, next one up. So we literally, you know, go. And we do that for as many times as we feel. Takes for me to feel open. And then next one up. It's an O. Letter O with your mouth, and then just sound a guttural sound. And then deeper in. The lungs. And then when you're right at the cervix and you're feeling like it's fully in there, here comes the ah sound again, right? It comes all the way back to the ah sound. Any questions? Who's heard of this before? Cool, yes, there's definitely some people. Who's this is totally new to you? I want to see this. That's awesome. I'm so glad. Like, I'm so glad I'm here telling you this, because I don't know, for me this has really transformed a lot. It's really like, oh my god, it seriously is a healing session. It's not just like, oh, sexual energy is awesome, blah 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 blah, but it's like seriously connected to my own internal organs. And another way you can help channel the energy for partners using your hands, you know, like Reiki, right? Can I have a volunteer really quickly? Just quickly. So then you can be, when you're in lovemaking, can I touch you? Okay. You can start with your both hands on their kidneys, right? Your kidneys, and you're directing, as you're moving energy, directing energy to each other's kidneys, literally. You can making the sound, right? Making the sound. And then you're directing a little higher. You can work with the liver, spleen, pancreas, or the different sounds, right, as you move up. Then you can have your hands on the back of their lungs, back of their heart, right? And you're doing this obviously very much slower than I'm going right now. And then eventually you can be working with the pituitary gland as well. One hand can be on the sacrum, and the opposite hand can be either on the base of the neck, base of the skull, or even up to the crown. And you're working with that energy, holding your partner as you're, thank you so much, just, you know, to be guiding that energy up and bringing that beautiful, orgasmic, sexual, potent energy into your own body. Because what happens when you have more of the sexual energy available to you, you'll be a lot more creative in your life. You'll have more energy, vitality. So with that, I'm feeling complete. So are there any questions, comments, feedback?
But you were saying that the Lingham is the heart going into the entrance. Made me realize how, they say that stimulating the Lingham is actually the gateway to the heart. And I never made that connection that it's actually the heart reflex zone entering the vagina. I find it very hard when I first entered that. It's like very hard thing. I never made that connection.
Beautiful, yeah. What's that?
Can you repeat the order of the...
Yeah, the order of the sounds for a woman.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the entrance is the kidneys.
Can you practice that now?
Practice it. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do 3 sounds per let's work with the Yoni. So the kidney sound. So if I spell it out, I usually spell it T-C-H-O-O-O-O-O or T-W-O-O-O. And you can imagine you're releasing fear and contraction, because that's what the kidneys are holding on to. And then the next one up is the liver, and that's about frustration. Really calming sound. And it's good to have your eyes open when you release the sounds. Eyes let up energy. The next one up is the spleen, pancreas, stomach. It's like a W-H-O-O-O, but guttural sound. And then the next one up is your lungs. Letting go of any sadness. Or attachment. And so as you're making these sounds, by the way, you guys, this is for your organs, right, themselves. You're actually, there's actually a Taoist practice where you're doing specifically the sounds we're doing, but you're visualizing it, letting go of your, letting the energy leaving your organ. And then the last one in the Yoni is the heart for the cervix. So you notice we're doing them very airy sounds. There's no right or wrong in your releasing. I usually start with airy sounds, and then I usually go into more vocal sounds. And it's just different. Both are different, and the more airy sounds is generally more energetic, and the more vocal sounds is more physical. So, any other questions, comments? Like that this is, you're doing this with a partner. So you can do this on your own. So she was asking if it's like a part of like a lovemaking session.
And or is this an internal G-spot opening and open and connected?
It could be, you could use it any way you want. If you're working on your G-spot specifically, that will be mostly the shh sound, letting go of that sound, because it is literally pent up frustrations or tension. But if your G-spot runs all the way back more up, it would be the sound as well.